Hi, I'm Kim Adams-Lead, your State Specialist for 4-H and Youth Development. It's that time of year again. It's time for County Fair and State Fair. So let's get ready for your 4-H Foods projects. Today, we're going to focus on coffee cake. But first, before we get started, we need to make sure that we follow food safety. Wash your hands in warm water and antibacterial soap for 20 seconds. Make sure you pull your hair back so you don't get any hair in your food. Protect your feet. That way, if any items fall off the counter, your feet are fully protected. Gather your ingredients. You're going to need brown sugar, cinnamon, flour, butter or margarine. Nuts are definitely optional. An egg, again milk, salt, and baking powder. Gather all your tools. Make sure you have nonstick spray, a flour sifter, wax paper to keep your countertop clean, measuring cups, measuring spoons, a liquid measuring cup. Remember, you can't measure dry ingredients in a liquid measure, and you can't measure liquid in a dry measuring cup because of density. Make sure you have one large mixing bowl, two smaller bowls, a pastry blender or a fork, a whisk, two mixing spoons, a rubber spatula, a small pan for melting butter on the stove if that's how you choose, an 8x8 baking pan, hot pads, and a wire rack for cooling. All 4-H'ers have all their things together, and their ingredients are all pre-measured. So let's begin. Preheat the oven to 375 degrees. You want your oven ready and waiting for you, and you not ready and waiting for it. Our first step is to make the topping. Measure your brown sugar, your cinnamon, and a flour into the small mixing bowl. Mix those ingredients well. Our 4-H'ers are following right along with the exact recipe. The last ingredient they're going to put in is the cold butter. That way, the crumble on top. Cut the butter into the ingredients with a pastry blender. This helps get all the ingredients all together. Our 4-H'er found it more simple at the very end to use the fork. That way it got a smooth, grainy, consistent crumble topping. Now onto the cake batter. Lightly spray the 8x8 baking dish with nonstick spray. Break the egg into the mixing bowl and beat it with a whisk or a fork. You can also do this in another bowl before you put it into the batter so you don't get any shells. It's a little easier to remove that way. Add the rest of the wet ingredients. Add the sugar, the milk, the melted butter or the oil to the egg and stir until it's all combined. Looking good in there in that recipe. Now combine the dry ingredients into another bowl. Sift your flour, then measure it. Sifting the flour makes a smooth texture with no lumps or bumps. Add second to the mixing bowl. Add your salt for flavor. It helps bring out the sweetness. The baking powder is for rising. Stir the flour mixture all together. Combine the wet into the dry ingredients. You're going to add the flour mixture to the egg mixture and stir only until the ingredients are wet. Don't overmix it. The batter will look somewhat lumpy, but too much mixing causes tunnels in the batter and makes the batter tough. Spread the cake batter into your 8x8 prepared pan. Next, you've prepared it into the pan. Use the rubber scraper or spatula. That way you don't waste any batter. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of batter in this ingredients, so you'll want to make sure you use it all. Use the mixing spoon to sprinkle the topping evenly over the top of the batter. The 4-Hers are doing a really good job at making sure the entire cake gets covered. Now let's bake it for 25 minutes into the preheated oven. You can use a cake tester to make sure that the batter is completely clean and that the cake tester comes out clean in the center. Take the cake and cool it on a wire rack. Cut the cake into 9 even pieces, or it can also be done into 12 even pieces. The State Fair Ready needs to get it into 9 even pieces. After it's completely cooled, you'll want to make sure after you've evenly cut them, that you choose the pieces that are even in shape, size, browning level, and that the crumb texture is even throughout. Make sure your baking is baked all the way through and that you place them on a paper disposable plate and place it into a gallon size reclosable zip type plastic bag. Now you're ready for the fair. For more information on 4-H cooking recipes and 4-H cooking projects, contact your local 4-H youth development agent. And for more fair recipes, go to this link. Thank you and have a great day.